And Pam are joining us this morning to give us their take on a classic pop culture villain and a documentary about a pop music icon that start on screens this weekend. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
good. So should we start with the Joker? Because come on, is it good? No.
It's interesting.
Come on.
No, it's interesting. And good or bad is going to be a relative term with this one more than any other film, because you're going to bring your own personal opinions to it and leave with it. And then we see Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck. This is a troubled man. He's living in Gotham, which resembles New York from 1970s. It's really a pit. And there he takes care of his invalid mother, played by Frances Conroy. They live in a horrible, rundown apartment tenement. And he attempts to make a living as a clown. He doesn't make a lot of money as this, and he's often bullied, as you can see there. He just seems to be a target for anyone who wants to just abuse and beat up somebody. Eventually, he starts to crack, and he suffers from delusions. He's not really happy with his reality, so he escapes into these dreams of being much more happy, and he continues, as I say, to be victimized. He's got a crush on the woman who lives down the hall, but things get worse and worse for him, especially when his mother takes a bad turn. Also, things get worse when he finds out that government cutbacks have taken him off his meds and denied him counseling until he is pushed to the point to where he can't take it anymore. I don't want to give away much more other than the fact that this movie at times was brilliant and at other times incredibly frustrating. It's far too long. It could use a trim of about 15 or 20 minutes, but Phoenix, he's incredible. He helped get me through those parts when I started to be a little bit bored. You cannot take your eyes off this guy. I mean, rarely have I seen an actor so committed to a role. And it's not just a one-note thing, and that's what I was afraid of. There's times when the guy scares you. There are times when he breaks your heart. And that's really, I think, the secret to this movie. This isn't just a caricature. This is about a guy who's in trouble, who needs help. And I think that the media, a lot of the media has been making a big deal out of this thing, maybe inciting violence. Perhaps it will, because we live in an unstable time, and I certainly hope that's not the case. But this really is a cry for help. We talk about mental health problems in our country. We talk about how we need to help people until it's convenient that we don't. And this really is talking about how we need to help people who are in trouble. And I hope that message doesn't get lost in the shuffle.
All right, and Pam, I noticed you were nodding your head a lot when Chuck was talking. You agree with him on this one?
I'm shocked that we agree on a quote-unquote superhero movie. This is more of a villain's origin story.
Right.
And thankfully, Chuck actually shared the origin story graphic novel with me about this character, which I know, thank you, Chuck, which actually gave this film a lot more relevancy. And I think they really stayed true to this troubled person who is a target, a victim of violence, random violence, and constant verbal and physical pummeling. He's mentally ill. I think this film really brings up a lot of great social issues, not just of the mentally ill and social cutbacks that are occurring in our world today. There is such a realistic aspect to this film, which to me is extremely disturbing. There's gun violence. There's also, you know, gun control and regulations and what happens with that, but also celebrity and media and what we play a part of, you know, bringing something like this to fruition. It's an incredibly complex and layered story that I was not expecting. It is too long. Should have cut 20 minutes out of this baby, because I did get bored in the middle as well. But Joaquin Phoenix is incredible. He gives such a nuanced and layered performance that I feel like I'm watching a metamorphosis, not into a butterfly, but into an evil character.
It's a tragedy.
It is totally a tragedy. And
did you find yourself feeling sorry for it?
I did. And for him to be able to create that empathy, that sympathy that I had for him, and understand, not agree with, but understand why he's committing these atrocities, is a real credit to both Todd Phillips, the director, as well as Joaquin Phoenix.
So despite it being a little bit too long, you would suggest people go see this?
I think
Well, if you want to be part of the water cooler conversation.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's an important film to talk about, to see, because, as you say, it's about what's going on today and things that do need to be discussed.
Right, humanity and compassion.
You won't be whistling a happy tune at the end.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it.
it should be seen.
And I am hesitant to recommend it just because of the amount of violence that is in it, that I thought was a little bit on the gratuitous side for
But that's why we're here, to warn and inform.
It is. So be careful with that aspect, and I think that those who are into this genre of film are going to love it possibly more than, I don't think I would go and see it if I wasn't a critic.
Do not take the kids.
Don't.
I was just going to say, make sure you watch it before you...
At the screening I was at, someone brought a kid.
Oh, gosh.
Just wanted to slap them.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, let's move on now. Sound of My Voice. What's this one all about?
This is about Linda Ronstadt. This is a documentary about her life. We get to meet this amazing woman, and I didn't realize what an amazing woman she was. I know, until I watched this documentary. On many levels, this is a very typical documentary in that it takes us through her lifespan, and it does a lot of interviews. But what is not typical, what is extraordinary, is this woman. Linda Ronstadt was a pioneer for women in the music industry. She's not only beautiful, but she has a powerful voice and a powerful intellect. And she does an amazing job with paving the road for women in the future in the music industry. Sadly, she suffers now from Parkinson's disease, which affects about 10 million people worldwide right now. So this is a relevant film. We see this strong and powerful woman who no longer can do the things that she loves so much, and that is to sing. Extraordinary documentary. Don't miss this, and you'll realize how much she influenced folk music, rock and roll, pop, everything that's out there. And I didn't realize everything that she stood for. So, great film.
Up at the Art Theater. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
I fell in love with her all over again watching this film.
Awesome. And as always, Chuck and Pam always have something going on Facebook, so check them out and give them a like. Real Talk with Chuck and Pam. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.